Again, the base of support is key. The more supportive you are, the stronger the base, the stronger the foundation, like a good structure, the stronger the rest of the movement can be. So we want to anchor ourselves in. So that's a little pro tip for you there. Alright guys, and welcome back to another Exercises Explained. Once again, if you want to see these videos, they're in my highlight reel on my personal page on my Instagram. And today we're talking about low cable rows. So, a lot of the time when people do low cable rows, there's a lot of misconceptions. Once again, it's got to do with hinging at the hips versus flexing about the spine, but also the positioning of the shoulder and the elbow. So when we're doing a row, we want to think about moving about those two joints and pulling generally back and down if we're talking about the mainstream variation. Now we can do a higher variation of rows, but a lot of the time the problem, once again, is the shoulder blades. If we're not able to depress and even retract a little bit, then we're not able to activate the lats, and what's going to happen is we're going to elevate, we're going to protract, we're going to pull up into the neck, or we're going to be working high in the traps, not developing the prime mover, which is the lats. So if we want to get in and we want to really work on that V taper, and we want to develop the lower lat, we want to use or utilize the main movement pattern of pulling the elbow down to the waist in the spine neutral position without overarching or extending forward or protracting forward. Okay, so when we set up a seated low cable row, it's going to depend on the machine you've got in your gym. In this particular one at EMF, this Techno gym is actually set quite low in terms of the foot position, and we're set high. So we're pulling from a low end position, which is okay, but we're going to be putting a lot of tension in the back. So what we want to do to alleviate that is we want to try and get ourselves always as level as we can, or as linear with the line of pull, or in this case, the weight trajectory. So because I'm pulling lower, if I have my feet down, which I can do, I'm just gonna load the lower back, especially when I get heavier. So to kind of rectify that a little bit, put your heels up a little bit higher, try and grip the bench. Again, the base of support is key. The more supportive you are, the stronger the base, the stronger the foundation, like a good structure, the stronger the rest of the movement can be. So we want to anchor ourselves in. So that's a little pro tip for you there. Then we're going to be using the V-bar today, or a close grip variation, neutral grip. We're going to make sure we wrap our thumbs around this time. We can do thumbless, which will get a little bit more back activation, but for now, mainstream, we're going thumbs over. From this position, we're not going to have back and be like this with the back. We're going to sit in and make sure that we hinge from the hips, but we're going to just use our knees and our hips to get the cable out. So again, make sure you're grabbing it centered, push back. Now, the biggest mistake here is people leaning back, even in this position, or they're coming forward and they're protracting and they're flexing their back. So what we want to do is we want to think about hinging forward from the hips to get a stretch. So the shoulder's going to slightly come forward, but I'm not protracting, so I can get the full stretch in the upper lat. Then as I come back, I'm going to think about bringing my elbows back down to the lower lat. I'm coming just past 90, but I'm not leaning back, and I'm not arching, and I'm not dropping that rib cage. So once again, the rib cage always over the pelvis. I'll say it a million times, I'll say it a million more. So we're not flexing and extending the spine. Once we're in that position, from here, we want to think about, again, stretching forward and then squeezing back. If, like me, then you are hitting that, the stack, what you can do is you can just straighten the legs a little bit more. So again, make sure you're getting it back, pulling it off correctly, the weight stack, and then you're gonna think about stretching forward from the hips, and then it's elbows, shoulders, hips, back. Stretch, keep the head neutral, squeeze. We don't wanna see this happening, and we don't wanna be doing any of this crap. So stretch forward, squeeze. Stretch, upper lats, squeeze lower lats. Stretch and squeeze. And you can think about breaking the bar to create tension. That's going to keep the shoulder blades back and down. Again, we're going to be using rhomboids, we're going to be using a little bit of lower trap. We are going to use more musculature in the back, but generally the prime move is always the lats. So this one is a horizontal variation, a horizontal row, horizontal pull, if you will. So remember those key things when you're doing these lifts. A lot of them, they're replicated around the gym. We don't necessarily have to think about them being complex. There's not a whole new movement pattern for everything. There's literally only 5 or so, if we're looking at physique development, variations in the gym. And then it's just a matter of changing those variations when they stagnate and progressing them accordingly based on your level of training and skill. So guys, if you like this video and you found it helpful, let me know. If you want to see something specifically, as ever, let me know what exercise you want to see next. Let me know what you're struggling with. Click in the highlights section if you want to see more of these videos. And of course, if you want more information about intelligent coaching, you want to do it properly, then swipe up or click the links. I think they've changed it in Instagram now, and you can contact me directly. It's free consultation, no obligations required there, just real help from a real coach. All right, guys, till the next one, see you then.